For a long time now, AAA titles have been on a downward trend in both quality and substance. Studios and publishers increasingly measure a project's success by its earnings, viewing players as dollar signs. We're constantly seeing flagrant false promises, under-delivering of content, and unpolished, incomplete games where DLCs attempt to extort more money for features that should have been in the game at launch. In contrast, smaller studios, even solo developers, have managed to produce content that outshines these high-budget projects from so-called AAA and quadruple A studios. Yes, that's a thing now to justify $80 and $100 price tags. Take Star Wars Outlaws as an example. The success of these smaller teams stems from one thing: passion. They care about delivering a complete vision and take their time to realize it, instead of racing towards deadlines just to make release dates. Now, you're probably wondering, what does this have to do with Turtle WoW? Well, based on what I said, everything. Turtle WoW is a passion project that launched back in 2018, and I didn't discover the project until 2021, during a time when the future of Classic WoW was just in question after the Burning Crusade Classic was critically panned and Blizzard just abandoned the no changes philosophy in favor of modern monetization, level boost, paid features, and charging again for a game that we already paid for back in 2006. That's when I asked, what if Classic just kept going, but evolved in a way that made the game better instead of pushing power creep and abandoning old content? Little did I know, such a project already existed. Turtle WoW and the Turtle team had already been releasing new content and expanding the world of Azeroth, the one we all knew and loved. Since 2018, Turtle WoW has continued to enhance the Classic experience, not just by adding content, but by refining it. It balances the game in a way that makes you think, this is how it should have been in 2004. And no, this is not a paid review. There's no gun to my head. Accolix isn't holding me hostage somewhere making this review. These are my genuine thoughts about the project that has managed to capture a feeling that I've been chasing for a long time. That's why I decided to cover it in more detail, unlike other private servers I've checked out in the past. Also, yes, fewer videos on the channel lately, this is why. But before I dive in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. It helps out a lot and shows support as I continue on this series. What if we never went through the Dark Portal in 2007? What if we never set sail for Northrend? What if there were no Death Knights, no Cataclysm, no pandas, or going through the Dark Portal a second time, or hell, even going into the Afterlife in the worst expansion possibly ever made? Yeah, or whatever expansions there are. There's a lot of them. It's hard to keep track. Thorda and the Turtle WoW team asked these questions and answered them with what I can only describe as a love letter to Warcraft. They respected the storylines and characters of the original RTS games and expanded on them, even tying up loose ends and breathing life into abandoned quests and NPC arcs. When playing through, the added early game features feel perfectly in tune with Classic WoW. There's no dungeon finder, no hyper-accelerated XP rates. You feel the community, which is essential in making an MMO feel like, well, an MMO. People chat, form bonds, and yes, sometimes steal your mining nodes while you're fighting a mob. The good old days of WoW. Hell, even in a lot of the playthroughs that I've had on a lot of the characters, I've run into players early on and seen them again later in the world, like bumping into old friends. The world feels familiar, yet mysterious, creating a sense of discovery and wonder that has been missing a lot from all of Blizzard's recent releases. Turtle WoW has expanded Azeroth in a way that feels almost professional. So much, I often found myself asking, was this always here? And checking Wowhead only to discover it was a custom content that was added. The addition of new hubs and zones, such as Telebeam, Lapidus Island, Gilneas, Highjaw, all seamlessly blend into the world. It rekindles that same sense of exploration that I first felt on my first journey into Azeroth. When finding all these new little towns and expansive zones and discovering entire new quest lines that I didn't know were there before. Even better, the addition of collectibles such as pets, mounts, transmogs. Yes, there's transmogs now for all you loot goblins and fashion hunters out there like me. Just adds more things to do in the end game and just all around throughout the entire journey through Azeroth. When I first checked out Turtle WoW, the population hovered around 200 players. Now, over 75,000 concurrent players across all the servers at one point in time. And those are real numbers, not inflated or hidden like other private servers that I won't mention here that I've done reviews on this channel. You can slash who at any point on any of these servers and see a real number for how many players are online. This growth has empowered the team to push even more ambitious content like full zones in Gilneas and Hyjal, storylines rooted in Warcraft lore, not the retcons that we got in later expansions, and new raids like Emerald Sanctum, Karazhan, and Upper Karazhan, and the upcoming Tier 4 raid, Grim Batol. These additions bring fresh challenges and new gear progression, even resurrecting content cut from the original 2004 launch. And yes, as a paladin who needs every consume in the game, I feel the pain of consume farming for progression past Tier 3. Patch 1.18 is coming soon, promising even more mid-game dungeons and new zones, even expanding Molten Core and updating boss mechanics, pushing the game even further into the plus side of Classic Plus. So you can bet I'll be rolling a new character just to experience all the content and streaming the journey. In my opinion, Turtle WoW is what Season of Discovery should have been. Instead of giving us Classic Plus, Blizzard gave us Ascension Minus. Minus what, you ask? Minus the fun part. Looking ahead, the roadmap for 2024 and 2025 looks incredible. Eventually, all this is building toward Turtle WoW 2.0, a full client overhaul built in Unreal Engine 5. From the previews so far, it looks very promising. With improved lighting and graphical overhauls, it's going to bring back new life to World of Warcraft that I just feel like Blizzard has not been able to do over the last few years with expansions and classic re-releases. Okay, so it's time to hop off the hype train and get real here for a second. There are some bad things that need to be improved on. Let's talk world bosses. Right now, they're basically impossible unless you're in the world boss mafia. Older bosses might be beyond fixing, but future ones could use better systems. My idea? Just make them summonable. A grindy system where players collect components similar to the Elemental Dukes in Silithus. To summon the boss once per week, funny enough, it took me so much time to make this and finish this review. They already started doing this with summonable bosses like the Crab Boss, so props to the devs. As for PvP, the honor system could use a revamp. Some of the gear feels unrewarding, especially with all the new content. Improving PvP rewards might be giving War Mode more incentives beyond just the XP boost. That would encourage players to do more open world PvP and just adding more gear to PvP vendors. Right now, the gap between Tier 3 and PvP rewards feels very big, and just also with the addition of Tier 4 and Tier 3.5, it's going to keep getting bigger. This unfortunately is going to lead to people just not wanting to do PvP just because it's not rewarding for them at all when somebody comes in here with raid gear and just stomps on them. And that's just something that's going to need to be addressed sooner or later as we add more content to the game. Another system I'd like to see added to the game is just more solo content, mini games, Brawlers Guild style challenges, or even a Mage Tower-esque system would be awesome additions just to make the end game for people that don't want to raid feel even better or not even do PvP. Maybe even take cues from Final Fantasy and add a gold saucer-like area where you can just do mini games. Those are some ideas I have just for making the server even better than it already is. There's not many complaints to have on Turtle WoW just because the team is doing such a great job, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending how you look at it. Wrapping things up, I just want to say that the amount of content added to Turtle WoW is more than enough to justify a whole video series. This video is going to kick off that series where I'll be diving into everything the server has to offer, both the good and the bad. So if you want to watch those future videos, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Until next time, guys, peace.